What's up, guys? We are live. Nebraska Gooner Weekly BingX live stream. And we start the day off with a bearish engulfing candle on the Bitcoin 5-minute chart. Interesting. Welcome. Yeah, I mean, that looks like a halfway decent short opportunity, but maybe not really. I mean, 30 minutes, pretty strong. And if I'm scalp shorting you guys, I don't know why my screen's off. Hold on. Oh, yeah. I had a few people asking about my portfolio tracker the other day. We laddered into some Bitcoin longs, 19,264 and 18,965. A little bit of exposure. We're 10% exposed right now to Bitcoin, and then a little bit to comp. And we're just kind of sitting and waiting. We've got FOMC today, so we got to be cautious. But we're at range lows on the daily, so we're like, we want to build a little bit of exposure here. And if FOMC meeting goes well, there's not a huge hike. If we get 75 or if we get 50, the markets probably go nuts. But if we get 75, the markets probably still react bullishly. So I would assume we get some bullish price action. The charts look halfway decent. It's not worth creating a ton of exposure and having a ton of exposure into events. But if you have small exposure, you have tight stop losses or whatever. Good entries with stop losses, pretty reasonable, then you're going to be fine. And a lot of what I do, you guys, for risk management, what is going on? Did it just show you guys an ad? It gave me a pop-up that said, insert an ad here, and I tried to click X on it, and then I clicked on the thing on accident, and then it said, ad inserted. Did it just show it on my screen or what? I don't even know. If news released 100 BPS, is it okay to short immediately? Probably, but volatility is nuts during those times. So I don't usually trade it because it's so wild up and down. I don't usually trade that volatility. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, Bitcoin is at the lows. This is my portfolio tracker. This is my team and I, we just put updates in here, about what we're holding on to. 18,700 was the key level we were looking at to hold, and it held. So obviously we are okay with having some exposure there. If you want to join that, you guys, there's a link in my Twitter bio. If you want to check that out, don't feel obligated. But if you do want to know what my team and I are up to, that's where you can find our allocations. It's literally only $20 a month. So we want to make it affordable for everyone, and it's good for my team to be able to help out too. And anyway, somebody asked, could you remind me what the EMA green and red lines are? Yeah, this is Gooner EMAs, you guys. It's a free script on TradingView. You can use it anytime. So go search that. It's free. It's 11 EMA is the green one and 22 EMA is the red one. Okay, so free script. Please use that if you want to. But yeah. What do I think about the KNC drop? Well, I think there was an exploit or something, but I mean, the TA said to short this, and I wish I would have shorted, but I was kind of bullish on other charts, so I didn't really want to touch this. But we have we have a double tweezer top here. Okay. One tweezer top here, another tweezer top here. And I mean, it's pretty straightforward nuke. And not only that, the key, you don't even have to enter on the short there. You would enter on this right here, on this rejection. So you could either enter on the retest up here, or you could just wait for this to reject and enter there. I mean, we had this basically a double top breakdown here. Okay. So basically a double top breakdown here. Technically, your target for that would just be from here to here. So your target would be 177. Obviously, it just straight nuked. I mean, this was a great short opportunity. Obviously, the exploit helps a little bit. Okay. There was some exploit or something. I don't know. I don't pay attention to that stuff. But apparently there's an exploit. I didn't look into it because I wasn't in a position anyway. And it nuked pretty nice. So maybe is a good long entry now if the market holds, but I don't know. I don't usually touch these crazy dips like this, and I usually wait for bottoms to form before just hopping in. So no bottom there. So no entry, but we do see volume is dropping as price is dropping, and we're at support. So potential slight bullish divergence there with volume. For my positions today, I really like run as a potential runner. No pun intended. Literally, this thing looks pretty bullish to me. Nice breakout here on high volume. We've now retested this base. This is stocks, by the way, you guys. I only threw a I didn't even throw 1% of my, I think I threw less than 1% of my account in here. But I just threw a little bit in here to have a small bag this morning because I did see a bottom breakout, and if this turns into a high time frame breakout, I'll be very happy. But what you see here, and the reason that this was a low time frame bottom, and you guys can use this TA on your, on other charts, is look at all this volume here. Okay, and that starts right about here, and it immediately got eaten up and negated and consolidated above and retested. So like this is just high volume panic selling into the lows and then price rebounds. So anybody that panic sold there is forced to FOMO in higher. So that's how that looks. That's why I like that. You can use the same rationale for tops and bottoms. Hood doesn't look as hot here on low time frames, but high time frame, I do have a small position here as well. I don't want to have too much exposure because of FOMC today. But again, we're holding this uptrend. So if this breaks down, it's a really good risk to reward on my part because my entry is like close to $10 somewhere. So if this breaks down, it's like a 2% risk, again, on a small position. But if it breaks up here, it could be potentially like a 40% gain if it breaks up through this resistance. So, and at a minimum, if it hits the upper resistance area here, that's still like a 10%er. So great risk to reward here. Kind of my key, you guys, on like days like this, and look, Run's kind of pushing a little bit here, which is nice. I mean, if Run could just have a bullish engulfing today, that would be epic. Like this thing will just take off, and maybe I would add like half of my position size back to it, half of whatever's open. But anyway, so what I do, you guys, is if there's like no news events or anything, a lot of times I'll risk like 1.5 to like 1.5% of my account on any given day. But if there's news events, I tone it down to maybe like 0.25% or 0.5%. Okay, so my risk is reduced because the likelihood of me getting caught offside is there, right? And it's always there no matter what. But like when there's unknowns, then you're adding variables into your trading, and that can decrease your probabilities of success. So when you have to decrease your probability of success, you want to increase your risk management and decrease your risk potential, if that makes sense. So a lot of people do it the opposite way. They'll be like, oh man, there's a big news event. I'm going to go really big on this alt because it's going to moon. And then what happens? You go really big on it and it pumps like 5% and you're up really big, and then it just nukes or something, right? So, yeah, so that's how anytime your risk is increased, you actually want to decrease your risk, if that makes sense. Like anytime there's adverse events or variables, and I do have a pretty good video here. Let me find it on my other side of the screen here. It's called Fund Allocation, I believe. Okay, so if you go to my YouTube, if you aren't subscribed to my YouTube yet, you guys, please subscribe. I really appreciate it. I'm really close to 30,000 subscribers. That would be cool. I mean, I feel like 50,000 is my goal, and then I probably won't even care anymore. But it's really hard to grow on my YouTube. Like it's really hard to get subscribers. So if you subscribe, I really appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoy all the content. If you're new here, welcome. But if you go to my YouTube homepage, YouTube/Nebraska Gooner is the easiest way to find it. You can go to this fund allocation video here, which is in the Trading for Beginners section. And this is a really good video. It talks about like risky assets, low risk assets, where to put money, how to diversify, and as you make more money, how to kind of manage that. So make sure you check that out. Yeah, let's see what we got here. I deserve 100K. I appreciate that. The problem is I probably need to do more videos. I feel like I do a decent amount. You guys notice like my nervous habit today is like itching my nose. I keep noticing that. I guess I'm not really nervous, but just a habit. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I probably need to post more videos. I probably need to post like more bullshit and less like actual content. Like people just like to watch stupid shit half the time, right? Like if I got on here and like screwed around and did like a bunch of stupid things and like tried to get liquidated on an account or something, everyone would probably watch. But I give real content, so sometimes, not the most interesting for everyone because some people don't want to learn. But anyway, I do value the community I have that does want to learn here and the people that are here to learn because that's all I'm about. So let's look at Bitcoin low time frame quick. We're starting to get this little breakdown here. I know when I first started on the stream, I said we had a 5-minute bearish engulfing candle. So this is kind of a key to maybe enter a low time frame short. Now my entry for that would have passed already. Whoops. I don't want to enter now because it's at support. So it could bounce. We do have some declining volume here as it's going, but it's pretty high volume overall. And we kind of have a high volume FOMO top up here. So If this breaks down, maybe I'm not going to trade on the stream. I'm not even logged into my exchanges. But if this breaks down, I could look at something like this. So it's starting to break down now. We go to other time frames, and our 15-minute is also a bearish engulfing. So that is not a good sign. The 30-minute is really strong for now, which is a decent sign. 1 hour is showing a large upper wick. Not a great sign. We've got 15 minutes left till close. So I would say that a little bit risky short because of the 30-minute strength here on high volume, because we are at support here. All right, let me remove my drawings now. So when you get kind of conflicting signals, that's when it just gets a little murky and you're like, okay, if I get in this short, I got to be ready to get out quick because we could bounce because we're at support, right? So we're at support. We're at the lows also of everything. So, and we do have nice increasing volume here. So overall, things are looking somewhat bullish. We do have this 15-minute bearish engulfing candle, which it is, in fact. 5-minute is also this trend breakdown. So if I'm shorting, I'm looking at something like this. Pretty tight stop loss here, I would say. You could get wicked out, but could also just bounce and make a new high. And then I'd probably look at this first support level here. So this is probably how I'd play it. I'd just go from first resistance to first support. But declining volume, first off, if it's increasing volume, it would be more conviction to short, I guess. But so I'd probably go a little smaller here if I was taking this position. I wouldn't go full size. Just because the conflicting signals. If the 30-minute was a huge upper wick, I would feel really good about shorting this. But with the 30-minute showing some strength, you never know. Sometimes if this closes here, it's going to close that support and then it's going to bounce. Now, if this 30-minute closes down below here, that's going to be super bearish, and the 1H is going to be a big upper wick, and that's going to give us a big rejection. So overall, things have been kind of bullish. Sometimes when you're at these bottoms, again, I'm not shorting. I wouldn't really recommend shorting this. I'm just kind of sharing, talking through this with you guys. Move again. The other room was much nicer, somebody said. So I'm just kind of talking through this. But yeah, so this is how you'd be looking at it. And if this rejects, that's going to give you more conviction because you're going to have two closes below trend. ETH is breaking down as well, you could see. So it's looking like we're going to reject here a little bit and potentially at least drop to this line, which would give you a little scalp, or the one below it. So 1 or 2, and there we go. So, yeah, I mean, there you go. That was the rejection. We're hitting our first target, but it's looking like it's going to go to second target. So 15-minute bearish engulfing candle is kind of the key here. And yeah, just like that, first target's probably reached here. We close below this. Okay, so we're probably going to go back down to this area. Got some high volume selling coming in. And yeah, so maybe I would have taken a small short there if I wasn't on stream. But overall, again, I wouldn't have gone full position there just because of how the 30-minute looks, because we are at support here, so it still can bounce and rebound. If I went full position, I would probably take partial profit here. Okay, and if I did a 10x leverage position, I'd be up, 3%, which is not bad if I take a decent-sized position. So somebody asked about the EMAs again. Let's just put it in text so everyone can see it. Gunner EMAs. It's a free script. Anybody can use it. 11 EMA, 22 EMA. Okay, 11 EMA is red. 22 EMA is green. Bam. And you're going to know which one is the lower one because it moves slower, okay? You can see here, 5-minute is about to close really ugly, so we're going to get our second target here. So I guess if you did take that trade, congrats to you. You weren't supposed to, it was just for education, but there you go. And honestly, I would probably just close down here because we've got a lot of support here. It's probably going to run to that target, but I would probably close down here just to be safe because we had a nice volume drop here and we could get a little choppy. So we got close to our second target. That would have been a really nice little scalp there, though. From here to here, so that would have been 6% on 10x leverage, so not bad at all. I would have been very happy with that, even if it was a smaller size position. So yeah, it looks like my stock plays are holding up well for now. Like I said, I have really low exposure. Recession or no recession? What's Gunar's opinion? I mean, we've literally been in a recession for like what, like a year now? I don't know. Clearly it's reset. Like clearly the markets are in recession, right? So I don't know what the argument is. Shirtless videos will get me to 100K instantly. Somebody really wants me to take off my shirt today. I have been working out a little bit though, you know. Oh my God, my son, he's not even 2 yet. It's so funny. He just started. Show me your muscles, and he goes, "Urgh." It's so funny. It's adorable. Anyway, that's a story about my son. Shirtless live streams. Bleeding Crypto is all about the shirtless live streams for sure. All right, Bleeding Crypto. If you do a shirtless live stream, then I will do one. Welcome. Bleeding Crypto has entered the chat though. Welcome. Good dude. You guys, if you aren't following Bleeding Crypto on Twitter, you definitely should be. He's a good dude. Really good charts. He's got a big head sometimes, so, you know, you got to put up with his ego, but he's a really good guy and a really good chartist. So make sure you follow him. I learned a lot from him when I was first starting out, so. Thanks for joining, broski. How do I calculate proper leverage risk management per trade? Okay, we could talk about that here on stream for everyone that's here because that's a great topic, but I have a lot more in-depth content. And don't tell BingX that I'm promoting other. No, I'm just kidding. It's in my Prime XBT series mostly. So if you go to my YouTube, go to Prime XBT Leverage Trading Series. I've got a lot of risk management things here. Simple strategy to adding size to trades. Where is it at? What leverage to use is a good one. Leverage trading responsibly. What else? Risk management strategies. So a lot of these, there's probably more too. I know there's at least one or two more. But go through these, you guys. Like they'll teach you in depth how to manage your risk, okay, on your trade. So it will be like if you get a late entry, right? And so I always tell people, especially if you're new, to avoid FOMOing trades and whatnot. And you see this 30-minute support is holding you guys. Okay, do you see that? So that's why we would have not wanted to hold that short for too long. And we tapped my EMA perfectly. So that ended up being a really good exit point that I mentioned. So not all trades will run to target. And actually, I think I just made a video yesterday that I haven't posted yet and talking about like why you shouldn't re-enter trades, why some of your trades won't run to target, and it's okay if you close early and yada yada. Put a nice woman in the background. That'll help too. Yeah, maybe I'll get my wife to go sit in the background or my live streams to get me more followers. Or maybe I'll have my babysitter. I have my babysitter coming tonight. I'll just make a live stream when she's here and we'll use her as bait. What is better for gains, high leverage and small size or low leverage and big size? If there's a lot of volatility, sometimes I'll use small size with low leverage just because when there's a lot of volatility, like stuff can move so fast that I can't even, like if I use a large position with like 10x leverage, let's say, and price just like just dies like really fast, I could lose a lot more because I can't get a stop loss in or I get slippage or something. So I could lose more than I intend to lose. So sometimes I will go high leverage in those situations, knowing that if my position is liquidated, it's okay because that's the max I'm willing to lose. But I'm never going to go, but that's only when there's high volatility and I'm like afraid of does that make sense to you guys? Like when there's high volatility and maybe I enter a position and immediately I'm down 40 or 50%, I can either just manually close quick or it goes to liquidation and that's my stop loss, but my risk is calculated there to that position being liquidated. Like if I do a $500 position at 100x leverage and it gets liquidated, I'm out $500. That's fine. Like that was the planned risk on that trade. But let's say I did like a $50,000 trade and I only wanted to risk $500, but price nukes so fast that I can't close it or I get slippage. Then at that point I lose like $1,000 or $1,500. So that's the reason that I will use high leverage sometimes in high volatility situations. I use it as a calculated risk management technique, to avoid, slippage or not being able to quick entry, because there has been times where I'll literally be like, I mean, this isn't a good example, but I remember one time on a link chart, I literally entered a short at resistance. It rejected and I entered a short, and this was in the bull market, and link literally the green candle went and just launched through the screen. It was like a 20x short, so it wasn't very high leverage, and it was a large position. I lost like 40%, I don't know, like 20 or 30% or something crazy by the time I could close, because I literally entered and I couldn't even enter a stop loss or anything in the time. Like I entered and it just freaking exploded. I don't know, I think they announced a partnership or something. Like, it was the worst timing ever. But yeah, so if I'm using high leverage, it's to basically lower my risk, whereas people are like, oh, you're just a gambler, that's increasing your risk. And it's like, no, it actually reduces my risk, because my max loss on an isolated high leverage position is whatever the position is. So that's how I do that. Risk management, though, that's one risk management technique. But like, honestly, you guys, you should always use this tool here. Like, if I'm going to take a short here, I want to be able to see my risk, and I want to make sure that my risk is good enough for my reward. Like, let's say, like, every once in a while, like, you'll get a late entry, okay? And you'll be like, oh, well, this is a 0.5% risk and a 0.6% reward down to support. That's not a great risk to reward, so I can't really take that trade. Doesn't make sense. So I'd find a different trade, okay? And if you are getting late entry, you're going to go smaller. So let's say that my target, no matter what, let's just say my target is here, okay? This is where my target is. And I'm going to short. And if I short here, and I'm going to put a stop loss above the high, if I get a really good entry, my risk is 0.13%, and my reward is 2%, okay? That's a great risk to reward. I can do a pretty large size position there probably, right? Now, let's say I'm getting in now, and my stop loss still has to be the same, okay, to not risk getting wicked out, because what if the support holds and it bounces up here and then rejects, right? So I'm late entry now, unless I can go to lower time frames, find somehow an entry that puts my stop loss tighter. But for this example, we're using this, okay? So it's a 1% risk, 1.5% reward. Not great by any means, the risk to reward, okay? But also, now I have a 1% risk. So if I go the same position size, I'm going to take a lot bigger loss. I don't know why that was hard to say. I'm going to take a lot bigger loss if I go the same position size with a 1% stop loss as I did with a 0.1% stop loss, okay? So I would have to go smaller size here to avoid a larger loss than I want to take. So that's how risk management can work in a nutshell. Yeah. Hold on. Gotta get my dog something quick. Here you go, sweetie. Why don't you go up here? Go up here. There you go. Yep. Lay down. There you go. All right. Sorry. Had to make sure my dog was comfy on the couch. She was trying to get comfortable, and the pillow was like awkward. So you gotta take care of my baby. DXY is rocking. I don't even know how to chart DXY. Does you just do this? I've never even tried. Where is it at? Oh, here it is. I never tried to chart the dollar, but yeah, I mean, look at that breakout. That is a nice ascending triangle. This is the first time I've ever charted DXY, you guys. I don't even ever pay attention because I just chart Bitcoin, and it's basically inverse of DXY, right? But yeah, I mean, that's a really nice low time frame breakout, so that's a good indicator of why everything's dropping. But yeah, look at that. And I mean, this makes me feel great because I've been heavy cash for a long time. Oh, there's no OBV on DXY. Look at Top X with the buy approaching down here. And the bull divergence. Now it says sell approaching, but that got invalidated probably right here. So if we get another sell approaching alert, it's probably the top. But anyway, yeah, this thing's just taking off. I mean, that looks bullish as hell for sure. I obviously like volume, and there's no volume on this chart either, so can't really use it for that. But price action wise, super bullish. Obviously, if it loses this level, then it probably nukes back down pretty deep. So hopefully we'll see that. I'm still in some longs, I still got some exposure. It's not heavy exposure, but we're at the low, so may as well have a little bit in case we get some massive bouncing. So DXY is starting to move. Yep, everyone's talking about DXY now. I mean, it looks bullish. We could go to higher time frames. All right, let's see. 1 week. God damn, this is just makes me feel really good, you guys. Like, I know it's been going up, but man, I've just been sitting pretty heavy cash for a while now, just accumulating cash, which I really am trying to find like some avenues to put it into. So we're working on that right now. But you know, I obviously always have long exposure at the end of the day through, you know, some like 401ks and small accounts with my financial advisor. But as far as me, I've just been trying to accumulate, stockpile cash and figure out what to do with it when the market gets hot again. So let's see. I mean, what is this, the monthly? Damn. I mean, this has some way more room to run. Dang, this chart looks really bullish. Like, this could just be a while. This could be a long, like, look at this is a reaccumulation. This is basically a bottom. Well, this is basically a bottom, you guys. I am a very good chartist. So I'm just going to tell you guys right now that this is a bottom. Like, anybody off the street could be like, well, that's a bottom because price is up high. Anyway, so this is a bottom. It's probably accumulation bottom. And then this is a reaccumulation. And now we're breaking out of the reaccumulation. And that's usually like where we're at the most bullish. So that's interesting to note. Really interesting to note. I mean, and you could see what's happening. I mean, we're at like jump the creek basically. So it's just, and then we'll probably do a little bit more here. And then this after that one is where we get the big markup. You know, you get your little zone here, and then boom, and then this is where, like something like that. Probably not as deep, but like, you know, it'd probably go like this, like back to here from up here or something. So that's kind of what I'd probably be looking at. Yeah, unless this somehow breaks down again. And this just looks like a really, really clean reaccumulation breakout. Like very, very clean reaccumulation breakout. And this is your spring. And anytime you have a spring, you want to just see straight vertical price action, which is why I love catching springs if I can. Because like here again is another spring, like straight up. And then we're going to consolidate a little bit. And then we're going to get straight up out of that zone. But anytime I can catch these, you want them to literally go straight up like this is doing. Like this one here is kind of going sideways. Like I would be like, okay, I thought this was a spring. I'm getting out because momentum's shit. But like this is the real deal right here. So that looks nice. Anytime you're trying to trade a spring, if you understand accumulation, you guys, you want to make sure that it's going straight up. Like, of course, it stalled a little bit here, but like nothing bad. Like this is just straight up price action. Like that's what you want to see if you're getting into a spring, and if you can, learn how to identify accumulation and identify springs. Like they're nice. Like I remember catching a few in the bull market where we would find a reaccumulation spring, and it's just so easy because you get in, and if it doesn't go up right away, then you get out. It's pretty simple. If it goes up right away, then you're making good money. So I love those. Do you want to fund our brewery? There you go. I actually am trying to stay away from bars and anything like that. It just sounds like way too much effort. All right, what am I looking at? Oh, yeah, somebody want to look at Atom. Why not? Let's look at Atom. Well, monthly rejected off my Gunner EMAs. I mean, honestly, everything's probably going to shit. But we're at support, so I'm just not going to short support at all, okay? Just hasn't worked out over the years. But, I mean, Atom, here's the deal. You don't want to short here unless it breaks down. And this is basically a double top, you guys. It's kind of the scenario we showed on whatever altcoin we looked at earlier. Basically a double top here. So if this breaks down, you're going to be looking at some target like DS. Okay, so 1170, which makes sense just logically. Makes a lot of sense. Okay, so if this breaks down here, you would get a decent little short setup here if it gets a retest. And you do something like that, which is a great risk reward. You can maybe look to tighten your stop loss closer to the Gunner EMAs. Okay, so 3% risk. So you'd be looking at something like that. So, and I don't like how everything's looking here at all. I mean, that 5-minute bearish engulfing candle was still the top for Bitcoin, and we're getting our second target now for that trade that we talked about. So, yeah, I mean, this would have been a good re-entry as well. I'm wondering if I should close up my exposure on these and just say locked-in profits are better than nothing and see what happens with FOMC today. But maybe I'll start my stop loss at break even. But yeah, we're dropping nice, aren't we? So yeah, we'll see what happens, I guess. This price action is just so choppy. I mean, really, if you zoom out, I mean, nothing's happened. I mean, this is the key support we want to hold, and it's holding, and that's where I'm at right now. I just want to see this hold. Our key resistance we're going to want to break right now is going to be right up here. So if we could flip this, we're going to have a pretty good shot at moving bullish. But But if we break down here, it's get the hell out of the markets again because everything's going to go to Nuketown rather quickly. So my Litecoin position is actually still in profit. And again, if we look at the daily, like Litecoin still looks solid, and it's got a bullish engulfing candle as of now, which could change by the end of the day. But yeah, I mean, Litecoin looks all right here, so I'll see what happens. And again, if Litecoin breaks out here, I expect these range lows to be taken out, or range highs to be taken out, and I expect probably a retest of my SMA 99. So overall, you guys, I don't think it's worth trading too much today because I feel like it's going to be choppy until FOMC anyway. Yeah, let's see. Algo. Yeah, Algo looks pretty good, you guys. The only problem is the market. It's just going to depend on the market anyway. And I don't like... I mean, if Algo closes the daily below this breakout, then it probably just nukes. So that's not a good sign. It's a high volume rejection is what that's looking like. But it is technically a breakout. So let's see. Yeah. It'd be funny if Litecoin just took off and everything else nuked. I don't know why. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, we have a high volume breakout. Pretty heavy wick on that candle, which is not promising. So that's not the best sign in the world when you see that. But, yeah, you want to see this reclaim, at least hold like 31.75. It could retest here and bounce, and it'd be okay. But not looking so hot. It probably just depends on the rest of the market. But overall, we want to probably hold this breakout here, which it did initially, right? There's a high volume breakout, so we want to see that level hold for sure. It's going to depend on Bitcoin. And as we talked about, look at that Bitcoin 1 hour rejection, right? Big wick rejection there. So that would have been, good confirmation to still be in a short or whatever. If we were getting in late here, like we talked about as well, we could have caught a quick short here on this retest like we talked about. And we probably could have put a pretty tight stop loss, and I would have targeted right about the EMA, and we would have probably closed already. But that's a nice, a decent late trade. But again, now we hit resistance, but now we're just at support. So we're kind of getting to that choppy area where it's just like back and forth. And that's all we're doing anyway for the last freaking week or whatever, 3 days at least, is just sideways garbage. So, yeah, after FOMC, watch all the CT experts. I called the exact direction. I'm with you. Cash is a great position. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind having some small, like I said, I don't mind having some small exposure here, but I don't want to get just absolutely caught up on the wrong side and get nuked on, right? So I'm not one of those people that tries to guess what happens in these situations, because half the time if I guess, I'll probably be right, and half the time I'll be wrong, right? So I always just, keep it real with you guys and say I don't know what the hell is going to happen, and we just sit and watch and hope that we can make a trade after, or catch the right direction after, and just not get chopped up in the meantime. So, let me fix these comments actually. Here we go. I didn't have my chat maximized. I took some profit this morning. Good job, Chris. Taking profit is never a bad idea. Anytime you take profit is a good job, right? Like, I can't say enough. If you take profit and it goes up 500% more, who cares? You took profit. Like, next time, maybe you get greedy, you don't take profit, and it goes down to zero. So I think taking profit is a great idea all the time. I never think it's a bad idea. If you kind of don't know if it's going to keep running or not, like let's say you're in a long, like let's say you entered right here into a long, and you're like, oh, I don't know if price is going to keep mooning or not, but it looks really good. We'll just throw a trailing stop loss. So once it breaks up here and wicks below, just put your stop loss down here into profit. And then once it breaks out here, put your stop loss down here into profit. And then once this big breakout candle happens, put your stop loss in here to profit. And then if you want to, say, screw it. You know what? I'm going to put my stop loss way up here in case this starts to break down, because really this is a big strong candle. I want to see it just continue straight up. And then at that point, you just can keep trailing your stop however tight you feel like. So that's kind of how I do it. I actually have videos on that in my series that I showed you guys earlier in the Prime XBT series. So yeah, check that out. If you are looking for an exchange to trade on, we might get a little bounce here. Look at a little tweezer bottom. if you're looking for a trade exchange on you guys, BingX is really awesome for beginners. Like seriously, it really is. There's a link below if you want to sign up with that, or in my Twitter bio. But if you want to sign up without it too, I don't really care. I obviously appreciate if you do use my link, but I just want to give you guys the tools to succeed in the education to help you out, so you're not getting wrecked all the time. Because I did not have that when I first started. But luckily, I had some mentors that helped me out enough to know that risk is the most important thing. And so I started off really small when I got in, and any accounts that I blew at the beginning of my journey were very minimal and not like some of these huge accounts that you hear about, because I knew that I'd probably blow them because I was told this. And so that really helped a lot. So really just want you guys to, be able to be on the right foot. Being successful trading is hard, and there's going to be bad days and bad weeks. So you just have to weather the storm and understand risk management. But yeah, BingX is an awesome exchange for beginners. No KYC. There is, I don't use VPN or KYC. You can sign up with email or phone number. There is like a withdrawal limit if you're not KYC'd, but it's not very, it's like a lot. I think it's like 2 or 3 Bitcoin, which was more back 6 months ago or a year ago or whatever. But if you get close to your withdrawal limit, but it's like different on every asset. So it's like a max for Bitcoin and then USDT and then ETH. So if you're like reach your withdrawal limit on one, you can just convert for free on the exchange and then use another withdrawal limit. Hey, look at that little bounce. Could have got a nice little long scalp there on that tweezer bottom at support. 10x leverage would have been 4% there. So that would have been another nice little scalp trade. But anyway, yeah. So if you do reach your withdrawal limit, congrats, and make a new account with a new email, and then bam, you're back at it. So yeah. Oh yeah, CHZ has been pumping like crazy, ain't it? Oh wait, I don't like perpetual. Hold on. CHZ. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, so it could potentially be a double top, but the key here is high volume breakout here, technically. So if that holds this base here, it could bounce. So you probably wouldn't want to short, at least on a high time frame basis, unless it breaks down here, and then it probably withers away to the base here. But your real setup, I guess, would be a double top breakdown right here. I don't know who's calling me, but they don't need 666. Yeah, I'm not going to answer that, devil. No thanks. I have like a little assistant too that like when people call me, they have to like input what they're calling me about. Oh, dang. Oh, never mind. I thought I had 3 missed calls, but one of them was from 5 days ago, apparently. Okay, anyway, back from the ADD. So here'd be the double top, and this is kind of like a rectangle too. So sometimes these rectangles are either reaccumulations or distributions. But anyway, so if you're playing the double top, you would draw from top to bottom. Bam, bam. Here would be your target. Your risk to reward would look something like, this. I don't know where I would put my stop because I'd want to see how things look when it breaks down, but something like that in here. So I'd always like to get tighter if I can, but you never know. So anyway, I never know till I see it. Currently in a small position short. Yeah, and that's one thing too, and I actually talk about that on one of the videos I showed you on my YouTube, is adding size to trade. So if you just want to get a feeler for a position and you just enter a small short, a small position without confirmation, that's usually okay. Remember, small position. And then when you get your confirmation, then you can add more. Like if we start to break down here, okay, then maybe you get a little position, and then if that double bottom really breaks down, you add some size to that, okay? And then if it goes against you, you could still close in profit ultimately. So that's a great video. You should definitely check that out. Yeah, I have some small exposure. I have small exposure. We've got some Bitcoin in my team's portfolio. I've got some Litecoin in my portfolio, and I've got some stocks here, just a couple. Small exposure. I'm just not going heavy today. We've got FOMC soon, so don't be stupid. Don't get liquidated or anything crazy today, because shit's really unpredictable. So what do I make of Bitcoin daily OBV on balance volume? I have videos for this as well. OBV on daily looks bullish to me, actually, and I've shared this before a couple times on Twitter, but interestingly enough here, I'll talk about the other scenario, which would be very clear as well. We've got this consolidation breakout and retest. Now, after these consolidation breakouts, you'd like to see price go quicker in the other direction. So if it rejects and stalls, actually that's kind of not a good sign. But technically, we have still a breakout. So if we broke below the breakout, okay, that would be a very bearish sign. Now, let's talk about that though, because look here, if we do reject here, we actually have a head and shoulders. So we've got a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder potentially forming here, right? So you guys can all see that, hopefully. So that would be a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder. And then, so if we break down there, that's a reversal pattern, and we go much lower, okay? So definitely something to watch for there. But technically, we are still in bullish territory. So, which we're at support. So why not, right? Like, Jesus, look at that weekly OBV though. But if we break up here, then it's just going to be a choppy nightmare because this will just bounce back up here. And you can see here we have very bullish spike, bearish spike, which equals just absolutely nothing. Like it's just back and forth. So it's mega chop. Like, Jesus, bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish. That's ridiculous. This chop has been nuts, you guys. I mean, technically on the weekly, things don't really look great. Like we have this rising wedge pattern. But again, when you break down from these patterns, you like to see price go quickly in that direction. Like price should be dropping already, and it hasn't. And we had a really nice bullish candle there. Then we had a really high volume bearish candle. And now we swept the lows, and we're just in a massive choppy shit show, basically. It's just a massive chop. Like, it's just nuts. It's just so nasty. So, oh no, hold on. Okay, I lost my screen here. Hold on, there we go. Okay, I lost my chat on accident. Have you noticed every time Bitcoin.com increases, usually a dump happens? What is Bitcoin.com? Bitcoin dominance. I thought it said Bitcoin.com. I was like, is there a website? Is it? Okay. Every time Bitcoin dominance increases, there's a dump after. I mean, that makes sense because what's happening is in a bear market, people are leaving their altcoins for Bitcoin, so then Bitcoin dominance rises, and then people dump Bitcoin after. Like, does that make sense? Like, sometimes you'll have this. You have like altcoins here. Here's a maybe a good example, a visual. So you have altcoins up here, and you have Bitcoin up here, and they're both just kind of like moving together, right? So you have altcoins moving up or down, and Bitcoin moving. They're moving even, right? But then all of a sudden you'll have. Let's get some text here because I like visuals. Altcoins. So you have altcoins here. And you have Bitcoin here. Okay. And this is usually a bearish time as well. So you'll see altcoins and Bitcoins just moving together. No matter what Bitcoin does, altcoins do. Okay. Well, then you'll see altcoins start to kind of do this. And Bitcoin start to kind of do this. Okay, so now they're not moving in unison anymore. And what's happening is people are exiting altcoins into Bitcoin, which is inflating the price of Bitcoin because people are buying Bitcoin to sell their alts. And then what happens is people get out of their Bitcoin higher than where they sold it at because they've started selling alts here. The whales started selling their alts down here into Bitcoin. Now they've made money on Bitcoin, and now they dump it. And everyone that FOMO'd Bitcoin is wrecked, and everyone that panic sold their alts is also wrecked. Or didn't sell their alts, I guess. Because the whales were selling their alts into Bitcoin, and people finally exit their altcoins. So then this is really where it's messed up, and this is how the markets are really jacked, you guys, is people buy altcoins here. They bleed because whales are sailing. I'm sailing away. Okay. So what happens is, this is how newbies get just absolutely wrecked in the crypto market, is they FOMO altcoins up here. Whales start selling their altcoins. Everyone's altcoins are down. Bitcoin's up. So people FOMO into Bitcoin up here from their altcoins that are already down, right? So their altcoins are already down 20, 30% or whatever. And then they take those losses, move them into Bitcoin because they think Bitcoin's going to keep going up. And then Bitcoin dies. And now their 10 to 20, 30% losses turn into another 10 to 20 to 30% losses. So really messed up. Really, really weird. But sometimes if you've been around the market enough, you'll start to notice trends like that where like, oh, Bitcoin is showing strength here and altcoins look like absolute shit and are breaking key supports. And not only that, I actually see if I can find it here. I have a tweet on this. At Nebraskan Gooner. What did Bleeding Crypto send me? Oh, it won't let me see it. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, Bleeding Crypto wanted to share something with us. Hold on. Okay, let me find this tweet. I can't type. Altcoins. Oh, I can't do the GIF. Hold on, Bitcoin. Let's see. Poopy. I don't think I'm going to find it because I can't do GIF. I can't do... oh, wait, I found it. Okay. So here is Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin breaks down, but altcoins hold key high time frame support levels, then likely you break up. Okay. But if Bitcoin breaks down and altcoin lose high time frame support levels, then usually you nuke. So if altcoins overall are showing major weakness, usually a dump ensues. But if altcoins overall are actually holding their supports, even if Bitcoin's dumping, then usually the opposite. So, but yeah, let's see what Bleeding Crypto wanted to share with me. Hopefully you want to share with all of us. Oh, the DX, the dollar. That's what he's sharing. Yeah, it's probably still pumping, isn't it? Ain't it? Look at her go. Oh, boy. Look at her go. She's just a pumping machine. Oh, yeah. Look at that dollar, baby. I wish I had some dollars right now. I'd be rolling. Oh, we have maybe a 1 minute evening star, though, so that could be a good sign. 1 minute evening star to save the day. But yeah, this is kind of pretty much bearish overall. Yeah. I mean, this is definitely, we're just going to zero. This actually might be a little evening star, and it could actually send it back here. But if it's not an evening star, then this green candle is going to go out the top of the screen here very soon, which looking like it's going to happen. See, and that's why I like volume on these things. Like if I'm watching a Bitcoin chart, because if I had some volume here to tell like where the volume's actually at and coming in. But let's see. Let's take a gander here and see if we reject. Boom, 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 boom. Oh boy, what's gonna happen? We're dumping. Oh, we're pumping. Nope, we're dumping. There we go. So it might dump off this little evening star. Look at that. Short the dollar. Send it to zero. Somebody asked about Luna. Don't look at the Luna chart, you guys. We're not talking. We actually, the Luna C or whatever, we pretty much nailed the exact top on that. Well, not the exact. We nailed the top, though, the next day after, like, before the big breakdown. We nailed the top on that one on live stream. So I think it dropped like 40 or 50%. I think someone in live stream, or someone on Twitter said that they were in the live stream and shorted it and were holding, and they used TopGoonX sell signal as well. And they they were up like 400% or something. So that was pretty sweet. But yeah, so look at that evening star. Bam! Look at that. Just look at it. Would you just look at it? Take a look here. Ooh, and then we got an engulfing candle here. Oh boy, we're gonna nuke. Look at that. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Look at this. Oh yeah, look at that. Would you just look at it? Yeah, there you go. So that's how you short with Gooner. Cool. Bam, now die. Or reclaim and moon because you're so bullish. Okay, guys. Well, it's been an hour. That's about all the time I have for today. What do you think? Oh, Jordan's here. What's up, Jordan? He said I just closed that short on Loon C for 415%. That's epic. That's so cool. I love it. Thanks for joining again, Jordan. Number one fan, baby. Back again. I love it. I love seeing the same people over and over, though. It's nice to have the chats keep going on from previous live streams. So anyway, you guys, I'm pretty much talked out this morning. My brain is tired. I don't feel like trading today anymore. Like I said, I have some small exposure that I got this morning, and it's not looking great, but it's looking okay. We're still in profit. So Hood is at support. And this is maybe a double bottom. So this is what I want to see hold here. Otherwise, if this doesn't hold on hood, I probably just get out and cut it at a profit because I'm in from the bottom of this candle. So I want to see that hold. Yeah, I mean, everything's just going to move in unison. That's what happens in bear markets too, is everything just moves together, which sucks. Because in bull markets, like everything goes in different cycles in bull markets. Like some things will be kind of dipping and some things will be going up, and you can kind of like find different trades here and there. But like in bear market, it's just like, oh, if this dumps, everything dumps and I should be short everything. Oh, if this bounces, I should be long everything. Like it's just kind of a pain in the ass because you're like, oh, this is a really good setup on this altcoin. Bitcoin wrecked it. But in bull markets, it's like, oh, this is a good setup. I'm going to take it. Oh, look, it worked out because it was a good setup. So that's why bear markets get a little frustrating too, because it's just like, you can't really always, it's kind of tough because sometimes you have to look at the overall, like you have to look at Apple and see what Apple's doing, right? Like that 5-minute bearish engulfing candle was not a good sign for the whole overall market. So Apple was pulling back. Everything else is pulling back. So yeah, and honestly, I'm kind of just to the point where I might just take some profits soon. If we don't hold this support soon, I feel like everything's just gonna be a choppy mess anyway. I might just take some profit on my early morning longs and call it a day because I'm up 0.4% on my account right now, on my stock account, which isn't bad actually. I'm pretty happy. That's a decent day. Run's still moving here. Like I could probably just put my stop loss below here at this point. I think my entry was down here, so looking pretty good there. Anyway. All right, I got one more. Somebody asked if I could look at Reef. We'll check it out. I assume you're talking about a crypto. Let's go. So he asked if that was a 4H tweezer top. No, that's not a tweezer top because you want to see your wicks even, or at least very close to even, because what's going to happen there is if you have wicks that are close to even, that's basically a double top on a lower time frame, which turns into a tweezer top on the higher time frame. So no, this is actually not a tweezer top. It actually kind of looks bullish here. Like you've got this this range here that deviates out from, right? And then it deviates back in and reclaims that on high volume. So you technically would just be bullish above this level here, I guess. This isn't like a setup I would really long, but for now, high volume breakout technically back into the range. So it could technically flip bullish here. And that could end up being kind of like a Captain Hook pattern that I've talked about before. So if it breaks up here, then you would look for longs. But so no, that's not a tweezer top. Remember, you want your tweezer top to be very like let's look at Atom for a really good example of tweezer top. Atom. I can't believe Litecoin's holding so well. Like, it's still in profit for my entry. All right, let's look at Atom. This is the one we talked about earlier. No, it wasn't Atom. Sorry, it was KNC. That's the one we talked about earlier. Where are you? Okay, you guys. I'm to the point where I forgot my alphabet. E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Okay. I literally forgot the alphabet. Oh, dang it. It's up here. Idiot. Okay. So, here's really good tweezer tops. Okay, so they're very close together. They're not exact, but that ends up being a double top on the lower time frame. So is XRP still pumping? Because that'd be funny. I mean, if XRP and Litecoin pump, that's actually a terrible sign for the market overall, but that could lead the market to pumpage. So yeah, I mean, XRP looks pretty solid here. As long as, I mean, really, here's the highest volume candle on XRP right now. So you want to see it hold 38-ish. If it holds that level, it can still pump. Below there, it's just going to nuke to zero. But this overall, I mean, this looks like a pretty nice breakout to me. Like, I guess I'd be short-term bullish on XRP here to like 45 cents or something. Makes sense. And even closed above this breakdown. But this is like, looks like an accumulation range. So overall looks pretty good. Like we have a, like almost like a rising, like an ascending triangle reversal pattern. So, I mean, XRP overall looks pretty bullish. It looks like the market's starting to bounce just a little bit here. Nothing crazy. But again, I think today's going to be mostly chop. So just be careful, you guys. I really appreciate you all joining, though. Nice. Can you look at, okay, we'll do one last one because I love you guys. We're going to look at Link, and then I'm going to go. Link, we tried to long on our portfolio last week, and it didn't work out. We got stopped out for a small loss. This daily bearish engulfing candle here would have been the key to short, in my opinion. Like if you short that retest, it's a great breakdown retest. Link actually doesn't really look good right here at all. So, I mean, like we have this breakdown here. So I don't even know where I would long this on a reclaim. Otherwise, if the whole market bounces, maybe it bounces here, and that was just a stop hunt. But overall, I mean, look, Link's just chopping sideways. Like this is just a giant ass range here, so there's really nothing to take away from here. You're not really going to be bullish or bearish in these. It's maybe trying to form a base, but there's no breakout or anything. But we got in here last week at like 760, I think, and then we got a nice big candle, and then it just dumped on us and stopped us out. So shit happens. We were hoping that it would pull an atom and just take off, and it actually got our nice breakout here. But unfortunately, and you can see here a tweezer top. See that? Another tweezer top, and that sent it lower. So, yeah, we got stopped out on that one. But anyway, you guys, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you all. Top BinX 1 minute sell on DXY. Yes. Pump everything. Dump the dollar. Anyway, you guys, thanks so much for joining. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube yet, please do. I really appreciate it. I'll keep you updated on Twitter with my charts and whatnots. And for now, we're sitting in, hopefully Litecoin closes a bullish engulfing candle. Hopefully FOMC doesn't give us any bearish news and everything can pump. And if we do pump, we could see some big pumps to range highs here on Bitcoin and other charts. Like we could really see some nice movement. So let's all hope for some good news. Let's get some big movement now because people are eager to buy. But anyway, always manage your risk, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace. But anyway, always manage your risk, and I'll catch you guys next time.